This isn't your average game of fetch, and it's not always about sex either.
Oh! Ew!
For some, this is therapy. For others, it's like church. Today, we're going inside the most extreme corners of the puppy play scene to figure out why people push themselves to the very edge and what they find when they get there. When you hear the words puppy play, what comes to your mind? Probably leather mask, right? Maybe some barking. You're not totally wrong. That's the surface level stuff. The image that made it to the mainstream, usually with a mix of confusion and mockery. But that's just scratching the surface. Beyond the rubber hoods and wagging tails, there's a side to this subculture you've never seen. One with intense rituals, deep psychological shifts, and a community that's pushing the limits of what it even means to be human. Today we're moving past the basics. We're not just asking what pup play is, we're asking why it can get so extreme. What happens when roleplay turns into a serious system for identity, therapy, and community? What makes someone want to not just act like a dog, but psychologically become one, even for a little while? This is a look into the weird, the surprising, and the deeply misunderstood world where letting go of your humanity is the entire point. So before we get into the extreme stuff, let's cover the basics. Puppy play is a form of animal role play that grew out of the BDSM and leather communities. People called pups take on the mindset of a puppy. Well, yeah. And others might act as a handler or trainer. Truly is some freaky stuff. At its heart, it's about power dynamics, but not always about how you imagine it. For many, it's not primarily about sexual gratification. The real goal is getting into what they call pup space or head space. This is a mental state. Sounds like a mentally ill state. It's often described as a kind of mindfulness or meditation where human worries, duties, or even words just fade away. Imagine you could turn off the part of your brain that stresses about bills, work, and what other people think, and just exist in a state of pure, instinctual fun. That's the whole goal. The gear, the hoods, mitts, tails, and collars isn't just for looks. It's a tool. The hood can hide your human identity and limit your vision, while mitts stop you from using your hands, forcing you to interact with the world differently. I feel like I'm talking about Batman's gear right now. Every piece is designed to help quit the human brain and let puppy persona out. The transition is everything, and for some, the drive to go deeper leads to much more intense practices. So this section is about when the playing becomes a ritual. This is where pup play splinters from a casual hobby into something way more profound and, to outsiders, much weirder. The first step up is total physical immersion. We're not just talking about getting on your knees, some people getting to extreme behavioral mimicry, spending hours on all fours and only communicating with barks and nuzzles. Social events called moshes are a perfect example. Here, dozens of pups gather on mats not to talk, but to physically play, wrestling, tumbling, and rolling around with the same chaotic energy as an actual litter of puppies. These are grown men, by the way. It's a nonverbal social scene built entirely on instinct. Then you have the dynamic with a handler, which can get incredibly structured, borrowing a lot from its BDSM roots. Again, ew. This isn't just a casual master pet thing, it can involve serious formal obedience training. Pups learn to heel, stay, and follow commands, with rewards for good behavior and punishments for slipping up. Like, again, grown men doing this shit. It's all about the consensual trade of power and the mental release that comes from total submission. For the pup, giving up all that control to someone they trust can be a massive release from the daily grind of making decisions. Sounds like maybe they just don't want to pay the bills, so they put on a leather suit. So their owner, which I'm guessing the owner is like their girlfriend, but how do they even get girlfriends if they just dress up as... No, I mean, there's women out there that probably like that shit. The gear also gets taken to another level. While some just wear a collar, others might have elaborate harnesses, restrictive bondage, and sensory deprivation hoods. that further erase the human experience. Which element is fine-tuned to push the person deeper into that pup headspace and make the change more complete? And then you get into the fringes. It's important to know this is a niche within a niche, but in some private corners, pup play can intersect with other, more taboo kinks. But even here, the scene is governed by one unwavering rule: enthusiastic, continuous consent. So what's the point of all this? Why push things this far? Well, the answer is rarely just kink. Of course it is. For a huge part of the community, these extreme practices are a form of self-guided therapy. Many participants have high-stress, high-responsibility jobs at working at like Burger King or McDonald's. They're lawyers, IT guys, even artists. I'm in college to be an IT guy. I wonder if any of my classmates do this. The pup headspace gives them a radical break, a total shutdown of their analytic brain. Oh my god. This mental reset can be incredibly healing and works as a powerful defense against anxiety, depression, and burnout. In a 2022 community survey of over 700 participants, a large majority, 84%, reported that pup play improved their mental health. That's good. For some, it goes even deeper. Ooh, fasten your seatbelts, we're going deeper. The intense physicality and power dynamics can provide a safe way to process past trauma. In a space built on clear rules, absolute trust, people can explore being vulnerable and take back a sense of control they might have lost. A healthy relationship between a pup and a handler is built on incredible trust, creating a secure space for this kind of work. Beyond therapy, these rituals are also about exploring who you are. The pup persona lets people express sides of themselves they feel they have to hide in daily life, because of course you have to hide being a puppy man from your family members. They hide stuff like playfulness, loyalty, or submissiveness. The community is also fluid. You'll hear terms like alpha, beta, and omega. I am actually an alpha wolf, and it's a full moon, so I'm going to be partying it up. But these can mean different things to different groups and allow for a spectrum of expression you don't find in everyday life. In pup space, things like gender and social status can become irrelevant, offering a rare kind of freedom. For many, choosing a pup name and persona is a key step in building a new, authentic part of themselves. I feel like them not caring about the gender is kind of something they should care about. I mean, I feel like regular dogs care about that. I always see them humping each other and stuff. So to conclude, the world of extreme puppy play is a total paradox. It looks like dehumanization, but it's often a path to feeling more human. It seems like it's about submission, but it's rooted in personal empowerment. And what looks shocking from the outside, for many, a lifeline. It's a complex, consensual world designed for psychological release, community, and radical self-expression. The journey from simple curiosity to intense ritual is a search for something fundamental, a way to quiet the noise of modern life and connect with something more essential. It's about finding a community where you can be vulnerable and accepted, and a headspace where you can finally let go. The practices might be extreme and the gear might be intimidating, but the motivation is profoundly human. It challenges us to rethink what's normal and remember that the paths to feeling happy and whole are often found in the most unexpected places. So that was the conclusion, and this is the end of the video. Doubt anyone made it this far, but if you did, leave a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Thank you.